John, really nice to meet you, and congratulations on your talk today. A couple of things I was taken by. You have this concept of 3 price points and the science behind that.
Yeah, so that's a little idea that comes from behavioral economics.
Yes.
And really what it illustrates is, so it's very, very simple. So you present a group with 3 price points for any product, and you ask, and you don't give them any other information, and you simply ask them, okay, given those 3 price points, which one would you pick if I gave you no other information? And inevitably, the vast majority of people will go for the middle point of the 3 price points.
And regardless of the brand that you have and your position in the marketplace, whether
what you're really illustrating though is that consumers are always concerned with making a bad decision.
Yes.
And the midpoint feels like the safest decision.
So,
and those words are really important. This is because everybody thinks intuitively that customers are always rational.
Yeah.
But they can't be rational for a whole host of reasons.
Yes.
1, there's too much information.
Yes.
2, there's too much choice. And 3, their brains don't work that way. You know, you've got as Daniel Kahneman told us a long time ago, you've got system 1 and system 2. So system 1 is your intuitive brain, and system 2 is your cognitive brain. But system 1's in charge most of the time. So when you present somebody with the situation, they'll gravitate towards a particular point. Now, if you give them a chance to think about it, and you bring in lots of other factors, and you engage system 2, they might change their mind. But what we're really interested in is, you know, most decisions, particularly in, say, a grocery store, are made quite impulsively.
Yes. You talked earlier about how much online brands need to invest more in brand awareness.
Yeah.
Unpack that for me, please.
Right, because, you know, there's a tendency for online brands to just simply think that because they're online, everybody will find them through online channels. But that's not the case. And in fact, they need to invest far more in offline than offline businesses do. And the biggest spenders, ironically, some of the biggest spenders in offline advertising in the last 10 years have been, guess who? Facebook, Google, you know, Microsoft. All the big tech firms recognize they need to build their offline brand, because consumers don't, you know, it's not simple. Consumers don't just come to an e-commerce company through e-commerce channels alone.
No.
They have to hear about you somewhere else.
Yeah. In Ireland, how would you assess the mood amongst retailers at the moment?
I think they are finding it incredibly challenging for all of the kinds of things that we mentioned earlier, particularly the cost of living crisis and particularly the post-COVID kind of scenario that they found themselves in. So I think generally challenging, but again, this is not the future necessarily. You know, I mean, to me, it always comes back to what's your value proposition? Is your value proposition compelling enough? And that's all you need to be thinking about, and staying true to it, even though you may have a lean year or two. You know, I mean, I was giving the example of Tyrrell's Crisps there. I mean, like, they were on a race to the bottom, and they upped their prices by 30%, and their sales dropped by 30%. And that's what we call a squeaky bum moment, right? Yeah. And they saw it through, rebuilt the brand, and you know.
And do you think Irish companies, you know, understand value proposition and it comes to them naturally or not?
I don't think it comes to businesses anywhere in the world naturally. I think it's really difficult. I mean, you know, you're in the business of helping companies build strategy. It's really, really difficult, because finding points of differentiation in a world where so many things have been tried and so many businesses have developed their own propositions, it's hard, you know. So finding something that's different and compelling is not easy, you know, but it is absolutely essential.
Good. Listen, a pleasure to meet the professor. Enjoyed the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Cheers.